Hello everyone, welcome back to the Maverick channel, and here we talk about real world use cases of cryptocurrencies. And if you're new to this channel, you're in the right place. Today's video is going to be a conversation about the tools you can use to prevent yourself from getting rug pulled. A rug pull is a situation in the cryptocurrency space where an investor puts their money or some kind of investment, and the initial creators of these smart contracts, of these technologies, just pull all the finances right under their feet, and that's why we call a rug pull. So today I'm going to talk about some of the tools and ideas you can educate yourself with, such you can spot out these things and you can also avoid tremendously getting wrecked in the crypto space. So stay tuned for the whole video. So there's been so many instances of people losing a lot or all of their finances or almost everything, especially if the creators of these technologies had the intent of actually creating these technologies as a honeypot, as a way to input to attract capital and steal it, essentially steal it. Now, I'll give an example. This was recently tweeted out by someone called Crypto Well. This is, as an example, breaking monkeypox Inu. I'm not even going to go into, just know this is a token that was recently created. So monkeypox Inu coin has tanked negative 99% after devs or the developers get away with over $400 million in exit scam. Guys, why? The reason I just showed this, first of all, is because I just saw it. And secondly, is because when you FOMO or when you invest in things like this and you lose your money, this is more like your fault. This is more like on you. So this is not what the video is about today. The video today is about looking out for investments that look legitimate and then doing research and finding out that they're not. They're just honeypots or they're potential rug pulls, or at least educating yourself using the right tools in order to find out where not to allocate your investment. That's what this video is about. Not just things like this where people are completely speculating. There's even instances in the past where protocols have written out within their blockchain or within their whatever they published that this is intended to be a scam and it's going to steal your money, and people have gone ahead to put their money there. So there's a lot of these cases in the cryptocurrency space, but that's not exactly what this is about. This is about how to survive in this crypto space. Now, there's a bunch of articles that I've looked at that have been well written, well curated. For example, this one, Best Smart Contract Auditors Ranked. And this was written earlier in January of 2022, and it was updated in May 2022. So this is pretty updated, pretty late. I'm pretty up to date with what's happening. I'm going to do a quick summary, which I've written down here of what has been written here and the technologies that I talked about here. I'm going to put all the links in the description so that you can enjoy, have fun checking out these protocols, and also using these protocols, check out some of your most favorite cryptocurrencies, seeing whether they're secure, especially now in the bear market. You want to look out for potentially good long-term investments. So this could be really, really good for you. And the second article that I kind of skimmed through, they listed 4 applications or platforms that they deem legitimate or the best currently when it comes to auditing of cryptocurrencies. Now, this first article that I talked about, I'm going to encapsulate everything here, some honorable mentions. The first thing they say is obviously the best smart contract auditors have a proven track record of protecting users and are actively involved in the safety of the community. And no audit firm can 100% guarantee that a protocol will never be exploited. So this meaning, even if there is an audit report, go ahead and read that audit report for many reasons. Make sure the team is looking out for some of these loopholes that have been listed in this report, and make sure the teams are actively looking for ways on how to find solutions to these. And if you're looking out for an auditing firm, make sure this firm covers a great detail of their audit report. For example, identifying system flaws. They are highly professional and will ensure the safety of your funds. So these are metrics you have to look out for these firms. To validate your wallet address and check for typography and errors. So all these things have to be checked for as they're writing these reports, and identifying any errors in the code and ensuring that the code is safe to use when transferring funds. So firms like the Big Four as well are going into this auditing thing within the crypto space. The Big Four, I mean PricewaterhouseCoopers, KPMG, Deloitte, Ernst & Young. So these are well-known established auditing firms, and they've also been looking into getting into the crypto space, and they're partnering some serious blockchains out there like the Polygon network. So this space is growing. So some of the honorable mentions are Shentudo Technology. Why are they honorable mentions? Is because they have this automated shield mechanism that constantly reviews smart contracts constantly. So even if it's a legitimate product, it will point out their flaws as the system is going on, and you compare this with community sentiment and so on. So you find some projects that have very good community sentiment, usability and everything, but when you look at the detail, there's something wrong within there and the community is not paying attention. So there's some big projects that have that, but I'm not going to mention their names here because that's not the point of their video. Fetch.AI is another one which is based on the Binance Smart Chain. They have that automated thing as well. And other chains, the report that we looked at first had some A-tier auditors that they talked about, like Chain Salting, Open Zeppelin, Solid Proof, Trail of Bits, Consensus Diligence, Runtime Verification, and they had a tier B of some of these auditing firms. The first one was QuantStam, Paladin, Chain Security. A C tier, so they had a tier C as well, Omniture, Peck Shield, Certic-K, there was Certic-K and Acadia Group, then Slow Mist. Then they had a crowd-sourced auditor. So these crowd-sourced auditors, basically, these are, if you don't want to engage specifically with the company, but you want to participate in this whole auditing thing, this could fall into the space of bug bounties. So you look for something wrong with the smart contract, you figure out, you find a solution, and you're rewarded for doing this. So some of these you can check out: Code4rena, Spearbit, Sherlock. Then there's non-audit security firms. These are ones you can actually use. Anyone can use. The applications are there, the platforms are there. You can just type in a smart contract address or your address or an address you're interested in, and there's an example, honeypot.is. So this helps you find out which smart contracts are intentionally made to rug pull you. Then there's Rugdock, which gives you some information about some of the technologies out there. Then they conclude these articles by saying factors to look out for: scope of the audits. Audits may not review every smart contracts in the project system, and they may not audit the front end. And here they give an example of Badger front end hack, where you have a DeFi platform where it was hacked from the front end, not just the back end. So the intensity of the audit, was it conducted by a single auditor over a few days, or was it multiple auditors? And what did they look at? And severity of findings. Did the auditors uncover severe risks, or were they sort of simple risks that could easily be mitigated? Quantity of findings. Auditing turning up a lot of findings is not necessarily a bad thing. They are there to catch the errors after all. However, too many findings can indicate that the project developers were sloppy, unskilled, or inattentive of some of these details. So you have to watch out for this. And were the audit recommendations followed up on by the team itself? So this can be harder to find out sometimes depending on when the audit report was released, but it's highly relevant. And that's why here they went ahead to actually show us that their report that they wrote was actually updated. And then code quality, code maturity. Auditors have more freedom in this section of the report to make subjective assessment of the state of the code base. So the gut feeling of an expert can be valuable. So these are things you have to look out for. The articles, I'm going to post them in the link of this description because they have plenty more details about stuff that you can find out, especially links to some of these hacks out there. I'm going to talk about a few of them here, but it's a very good report. And then they go ahead to have a link here within that report that says how to read a smart contract audit report. Now here they're going to summarize some very key things. They have an executive summary, a scope, manpower, how big was the team, the findings and the summary, finding severity criteria, so the different criteria of how dangerous some of these findings are or how light they are, and detailed findings, code base maturity, recommendations and mitigations or fixes. And this time, sometimes these are not always in the reports. So these are key factors you might want to look out to if you're an institution, an individual, a company, an investor, a serious big investor. You want to look out for some of these things to avoid losing a tremendous amount of your savings, of your hard and money. So these are some articles here by Harkonnen, some of these platforms or blogs that I like to follow. And here they state Certic-K, Chain Salting, Open Zeppelin, and Solid Proof. So these are some of the details you can get into to find out what fits your particular, what you're looking for. Now, I'll open a few of these to sort of show you what they look like. I'm not going to go through detail of what they look like Omniture, for example. You see on their front end, they say 187 projects, 65 billion market capitalization evaluated, 550 plus high severity issues. So you can check out some of the blockchains that they've looked at. So security audits like Hashport, Convex Finance, TakeMark, Fetch.AI, as well, Avegochi, Alliance. Some of these are NFTs, some of these are blockchains, and you can find out what aspects of their smart contracts they actually audited. So here, 13 of them. One was audited, 4 of them. So here you have different blockchains serving different things actually getting audited, and you can find some notable names in here. And this was just a random example of a farm that I picked. This is Halborn as well, another honorable mention that was not actually in these reports. And you find some of these farms go ahead to write on their front end that they're trusted by things like BlockFi, Solana, Board API Clubs, Thorchain, Dapper Labs, Ocean Protocol, Phantom, and so on, and some of the certifications that they show to prove what they've been doing: Amazon Web Service, AWS certified, CISSP, and so on, other certifications. So basically it's trying to add to that legitimacy of what they're doing. Certicate, these are the guys with the automated shield, and you can see that they're saying here we have 364 billion market cap assessed, 2,838 projects, guys. In comparison, for example, you can see this one had 187 projects, and you can compare this one with 2,838 projects listed, and you can go ahead to view this in terms of market capitalization. Some of the most notable projects like the Binance Smart Chain, Shiba Swap, so that's a DeFi protocol, Polygon Chain, Aave, Sandbox, ApeCoin, Decentraland, PancakeSwap, 1inch, Frax. So you can see these are very big notable names like Crypto.com, Thorchain, Chiliz, Cover. Basically very big chains that have been audited by these guys. So if you're an institution and individual, you might want to use these tools to check out if the platforms you're investing in have been audited by some of these notable companies out there. We have Certicate, for example, under Aave. Aave is one of the biggest DeFi platforms on Ethereum. They can show you that this is ranked number 4. Security audit is 95. And on this side, you can see they're saying that it's running on Skynet right now. Skynet security score 95 out of 100. Audits 2 available. Certified Shield, Certicate Shield 0 currently running, but I guess this is how they're running their thing. Maybe you have to pay for it at a certain amount of time, the token price, and some of the metrics that you want to look at, some of the details, when it was requested, when it was revised, and then static analysis. So you kind of break down of this analysis of what these audits are doing. So of course, if you're a developer, if you're really interested in what you're invested in, then you have to be able to look out, to do your investment, your required research in your investment to know whether you want to be there or not. So for example, Terra Luna, most of you heard of it, they lost billions and billions of dollars. If someone had done their due diligence, maybe they would have found out some of these security vulnerabilities that they could have fixed or caught, to know that their platform they're invested in has some issues so they can exit. So that's one example out there. Shentu is another honorable mention. They have an automated shield that does things. So basically they want to encapsulate DeFi, and then I guess focus on Ethereum oracles, and then you have the Shentu shield that views all these things, the price data, all kinds of data flowing through these blockchains, and the operator. So all these technologies are looking for a good strategy on how to automate this smart contract auditing process to reduce as much friction as possible, and also to basically almost guarantee that these smart contracts don't have loopholes. So unfortunately, the more some of these hacks happen, the more these companies also learn to tighten up and be more resilient. So the hacks have to happen in order for the loopholes to be found. And then eventually, of course, you have to go beyond that and make sure you devise very good security measures. So another example is Trail of Bits, which is another one of the others that's listed there. I'm just listing it here to kind of show you their front end, what you can read, their services, their products, their resources. So these companies go ahead to give you all these things to try and achieve that competitive advantage. Peck Shield as well. I'm not recommending any of these, but I just want to show you what some of them look like on their front end, their visuals, but make sure you have to be really, really careful to, I would say that look out for the top tier farms first, especially if you're serious. Now, in the first article we looked at, they linked us to a very nice website which is called rect.news. So this kind of summarizes some of the past exploitations that have happened on some of these smart contracts, like Ronnie Network, one of the big ones, over $600 million. Poly Network, over $600 million. The Wormhole, I think this is on Solana, over $300 million. Bitmart. So some of these notable names: Compound Finance, Vulcan Forged, Crim Finance, Badger. So they show you this list of some of these legitimate and illegitimate smart contracts that were actually wrecked, or rather they were hacked, they were exploited. And this website, this blog post, goes ahead to also write detailed analysis of what really happened. You can see here Bleeze Finance on Venus Protocol, Luna wrecked, Fortress Protocol wrecked, Finance wrecked, Monkey Business, Ferrari, Sato Finance. So if you're interested, if you're invested in this stuff, or if you want to know what happened, then this is a good tool to kind of educate yourself. Okay. Then there's also Rugdock. Rugdock is one of the tools we looked at first, where you can participate without having to pay anyone or this and that. So you can use their platform to find out some of the projects that they've listed as high risk, and you can classify those into, for example, Avalanche or AVAX farms. So these could be decentralized DeFi platforms within the Avalanche blockchain ecosystem, IoTex farms, future farms. So these are some of the things they list here. Then you can, of course, break down these things into farms, tokens, NFTs, automated market makers, or DEXs. So this goes into DeFi and analyzing these things. So for example, if you click NFTs, you see some of the new NFT platforms out there that could potentially, maybe you're interested in it, so you can come check out here. Make sure it's not here. If it's not here, that's a good start. You can type in there. Some of these actually provide for you a place where to type in a smart contract address, so that it goes into look into this. Now, the second last thing I want to look at is the honeypot. Some of these cryptocurrencies or projects are created so you put in your money, and these devs or whoever they are, they just steal. They pretty much rug pull. They sweep this finance right from under your feet, as we've said. So you can put type some of these smart contracts in here, and you can see if they pop up. So basically, you want to look out for these red flags. You want to look at these initial tools that you have easy access to find out as much information as you can before you dive into the deeper stuff like the white papers and so on. This could be a very good way. So if you're more serious, guys, this is the last thing I'm talking about. Institution, individuals, companies. This is one here. I'm not endorsing it, but I'm just saying there's a website here called smartcontractaudit.com, and find the best smart contract audit providers for your project. So these guys, instead of going through all that research we've looked at, you can straight away just partner with these guys, communicate with them, and they do the research depending on what you're looking for. Maybe a DeFi platform, maybe you're looking into oracles, maybe you're looking into creating your own blockchain, maybe you're looking into creating smart contracts, NFTs, and things like that, a way to interact in metaverse. So these guys will look out for companies specifically, maybe auditing smart contracts or technologies in that particular field you're looking for, and they'll recommend for you an auditing firm that will do the best job for you, which simplifies the whole process. So guys, I hope you learned something in this video. Make sure you're careful out there. Make sure you don't FOMO into projects that don't make much sense like this one. Make sure you're careful in the crypto space and watching out for these dynamics. Especially, you want to have a long-term mindset when you're investing in this space that will protect you a lot from some of these things. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.